I realise I'm not going to have time to do this on Friday morning before I have to travel across London to get to the train and then to go to my family's for Christmas. So I'm actually filming this, cheating a bit, filming it on Thursday evening because I already know what I'm going to wear home tomorrow anyway. So I also did a lot of sort of testing of perfumes this week because I've been off on holiday. I've just been at home. I've had loads of opportunities to try different things, for a few hours or whatever, and either wash it off or see how long it lasts, that kind of thing. See if I like it. So there's no way I was going to have time to do this tomorrow. So I'm doing it today, and you should be seeing it on Christmas Day. So obviously this isn't going to include what I actually wore on Christmas Day. You'll see that next week on probably, is that New Year's Day? But anyway, so we started off the week with this beauty. This is Colour Feeling Orange from Brocard, and this is a beautiful orange, mango, sandalwood and marigold perfume. Now, the notes on Fragrantica are listed as marigold, orange, amber, ground cherry, mango, chili pepper, iris, saffron, citron, sandalwood, cedar, patchouli and rose. And they don't have any base or, they don't have them divided up in any way. So it's the same on the Bloom Perfumery London website, which is, I got this from Bloom. I actually went to store to buy it because it's just so expensive. It's like £9 to have anything posted from Bloom unless it's a sample. But it's also the only place that currently I can get any Brocard perfumes because they obviously had a whole batch in before the Russian sanctions came in. So I had no choice but to get it from them. I think it's like £31 for a bottle, and I think these are how much is in here? Oh, it doesn't say. I'm not sure if these are 100ml. I think it might be 100ml, or maybe like about 80 or something, but I think it might be 100ml this. I don't think the bottles are hugely thick, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I do like these bottles. I think they're really cool. But the notes on the Bloom website say amber, cedarwood, cedrat, chili, husk tomato, mango, marigold, orange, orris, patchouli, rose, saffron and sandalwood. So they're similar, but they're ever so slightly different. So I think the husk tomato thing is giving this a lovely kind of greenness. I do get patchouli, but I really get that in the top notes. And I feel that when this dries down, really you're getting amber for sure. So it's really good for kind of autumn winter. You're getting mango, orange, marigold, and definitely a lot of sandalwood, I'd say, in this one, because it's like a kind of very fruity, slightly more modern smelling Adam Levine for her. It's got that same kind of lovely marigold and sandalwood vibe going on, but a lot of mango, a lot of orange. It's quite an interesting take, I'd say, on a kind of orangey mango perfume. So I wore that one on Saturday. I really, really like that. And the reason I was thinking about it is because I had like a tiny little sample of a tiny little bit left of it's called I think it's called Sparkly Pumpkin, which is a very old body spray from Lush that you can't really get. They currently have a Sparkly Pumpkin body scrub, and I couldn't find any notes listed for what was in that body spray. I think it was a limited edition a long time ago, but someone very kindly sent me a little sample and I bought something else. And I just love that body spray. I think it's lovely, but you can't really get it. And I was just using some of it the other day. Sorry, I can't remember where my sample is right now, but it just kind of gives me a very light and easy version of this kind of smell. This is what it made me think of, which is why I ended up wearing this all day on Saturday, really, apart from when I was doing some tests. So I'm just going to tell you the other things that I wore for like proper days, actual proper perfumes. And then at the end, I will go through everything that I've tested out on my skin this week. So anyway, Colour Feeling Orange was my Saturday. And I think that's just such a lovely perfume. I'm really into it. And then again, so I've only got a tiny little thing of this now. If you watched my what I'm excited to wear for Christmas perfumes, I did have Yog Nog from Lush in there. Now, that is an absolute, this, I should say, it's a beastly perfume. It's an absolute beast. When I made that video, I checked the date on it and I realised that it was supposed to be used by the end of this year, and it is so beastly. There was not a chance in hell I would even make a dent in it. I really only need to use like 2 sprays maximum of this. So I've got a little decant, and I sold the actual bottle on eBay. It sold almost immediately. Someone made me an offer immediately, so obviously it's something that people really want to get hold of, so I'm very happy that someone else now has Yog Nog as well. So Yog Nog, again, they don't really tell you much about what the actual scent of Yog Nog is. So what I'll do is I'll just read you the blurb from Fragrantica about it rather than the actual notes, because it says, transport yourself to mountains made of caramel with this deliciously sweet perfume, evocative of skiing holidays in the Canadian peaks. Warm and spicy clove oil and soft ylang ylang create a perfume with a creamy chocolate centre to entice all who surround you. I would say, chocolate only if it's white chocolate, because I feel like in the dry down of this there is that slight kind of white chocolate custardy kind of smell. Slightly caramel, absolutely. But it's an absolute beast, and I think when you first spray this, it smells incredibly boozy, and it also smells, I'd say, like a panettone. Like if you imagine drinking really strong brandy, or like dipping a panettone into brandy, that's what Yog Nog smells like when you first spray it. The actual Yog Nog that you wash, the body wash, has a much more caramelly, custardy smell to it. It's not as hardcore as the actual perfume. The perfume is like woof. So as I said, I really don't need to use much of it because it's a true beast, and it lasts all day. Hence only really needing this little baby that I've got of this now. So I wore that one on, I think, Sunday, and it's super fun. It's so Christmassy. Interestingly, I was correct when I said that they had Yog Nog in one of the Lush subscriber boxes, because I just saw, I think it's, if I get this wrong, I apologise. Lauren May Beauty, I think the lady's called. And Yog Nog, like just a little 10ml spray, came up as one of her Christmassy perfumes. And I think that's new to her. So I was really glad to see it getting some shine. And she said that it came in the subscriber box. So there you go. That's why they've been popping up on eBay. So it is not impossible by any means to get Yog Nog. You just will have to eBay it. And before Christmas it's probably going to be a bit more expensive. Maybe afterwards it might be a bit cheaper, but yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. It's very, very, very strong indeed. So literally one spray between, well, in fact I'm pretty sure I did one spray between my wrists and then dabbed it on my neck, and it lasted all day and I could smell it all day. It's an absolute beast. So I'm just realising that I left this out, so I'm just gonna I need to reach into my little cave here and grab the next thing. So Sweet by Lolita Lempika is my next. Can we lighten this up a bit? I don't think it wants to be lighter, but that'll have to do. So I wore this one for a whole day as well, in between all my testing. So Sweet is the one that just really reminds me of Haribo sour cherries. Really does. Although what I have to say about this, and when I actually, I still haven't put the video up because I'm really lame and slow, but when I first got this, it was much warmer weather, and the main takeaway from it definitely was Haribo sour cherry, raspberry. Like, that's kind of what I was getting a vibe for. In cold weather, I think the florals really come out in this way more than they do in the hot weather. I think the hot weather brings out all the kind of sweet, like tart but very sugary fruits, and then in the colder weather it brings out more of the iris. So yeah, it's still so lovely to wear. I really like it, but definitely I noticed a difference wearing it this time than when I initially kind of got it and tested it out. So the top notes here are raspberry leaf, sour cherry and mandarin orange. Middle notes of iris, rose and angelica. Base notes of musk, cashmere and amberwood. This is such a pretty perfume. It's so nice. It does smell like sweets, but I think if you were just going to wear this in winter, there is, because of the iris, there is something of the kind of raspberry flavoured lipstick kind of vibe going on here, in the same way that in the original Sweet that has like a lip gloss accord in it. This is more like a lipstick, but it's not like horribly powdery, it's not cloying, it's quite gentle, this one. I just think this is such a pretty perfume. I really enjoyed wearing it. It was a really good one. And then we have, so Tuesday, broke this bad boy out. This is Art Collection number 8 by Jacomo. I'm never quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce Jacomo, whether it's Jacomo or as I say it, Jacomo. But this is the one that I said and absolutely stand by. Smells like if you were to have a mince pie flavoured tea, but very much without the pastry. So it's much more of a kind of mince pie filling. And I don't really know if people outside the UK have mince pies, but mince meat doesn't have meat in it, not nowadays anyway. I think traditionally back in, like, just trying to think of what the date would have been back there. I want to say medieval, but I'm not sure if it's quite that old. But anyway, certainly like in Elizabethan times, they would have had meat in mincemeat, just a small amount of minced beef, which I think is why it's called mincemeat. But we don't have that nowadays. It's basically dried fruits, candied fruits, all mixed up, and it's just, I don't know, it's just sort of tangy, tasty, fruity. The notes in this, just because it's got the dried fruits in it, but it's light, it gives me a vibe of mincemeat filling from a mince pie, but then with a lovely kind of milky cup of tea as well. So it just, it's so Christmassy. I just really like this one. So top notes are cardamom, tea and ginger. Middle notes are dried fruit, milk and freesia. Base notes are cinnamon, amber and white honey. So this, I think, is a fabulous perfume if you're a bit fussy about strong scents, or if anyone around you is fussy about strong scents, but you want something that gives you a really Christmassy vibe. Because of that tea, it's really light, but it's very fragrant because it's got that cardamom and it's got the cinnamon, you know? And those dried fruits, genuinely, it smells like the inside of a mince pie. It really does. The ginger, so good. You don't get a huge amount of freesia, but I can definitely sense it's there. I recognise it from my other perfumes that I love that have like a very strong freesia. The milk gives it a slight milkiness, as you can imagine, but it's not like horrifically lactonic, and it's not heavy at all. It doesn't weigh it down because the tea is keeping it super, super light. And it's not a strong perfume anyway. I mean, I think it's supposed to be an eau de parfum. And actually, to be honest, I could smell it on myself for a long time, but it's not going to create a massive scent bubble. And the honey just keeps it from being too sharp, but it's not overly sweet either. It's got a really nice balance between the kind of tart zestiness that you get with some dried fruits, you know, where they're really, really sweet, but they still have that acidic tang. So yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed wearing this one. I've been looking forward to wearing it. I think it's really good for the festive season. I'm going to try and drag this out at other times of the year as well. But realistically, it just makes me feel so Christmassy because it properly smells like a mince pie. So, so that one, very fun to wear. I'll pull that over here. I'll start moving these around a bit as these are the smaller ones. Yeah, I'll push you over here a little bit. So then on Wednesday, I wore Hugo Boss, the scent for her Private Accord. So this is the chocolate orangey one. So the notes in this are mandarin orange, middle notes are coffee, osmanthus, base notes cacao and tonka bean. Now, I put this on during the day, and I think my feelings generally about it is this definitely would have to be an evening perfume for me. Because I think wearing it for like a whole day, like if you're doing like an entire day, I started to find it a bit cloying by the time it got around to the evening, just because I'd had it on for so long. And the dry down of, the thing is, people say it doesn't last. I think that the dry down of it lasts for quite a long time, but the kind of orangey vibe you get at the beginning doesn't really last for very long. So you've got that beautiful, beautiful mandarin orange. This is a really kind of realistic smelling cocoa powder, dark chocolate smell, you know. It's kind of reaching towards an actual bar of dark chocolate, but it's not quite as sweet as that, but it is reaching there. And I think that's why my general feelings about it is that probably I need to wear it in the evening as an evening perfume and not during the day, because I did find it quite sweet. And obviously it's sweet in a very, very sugared way. Even though it's tonka bean and not honey or anything, it's definitely got like a really syrupy vibe. But it was definitely fun. I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I probably should have just worn this in the evening. But I got this one relatively recently. So I've tested it on my skin, but I've never like given it a full day wear test before. But I was excited to wear it. It was super fun. But yeah, I think I've learned that about myself. I think that's very much an evening perfume for me. Today I am wearing this little guy, Candy Cane Parfum from Aurora from Etsy. Now I've got a whole video about the ones I got from here. A couple of them were just far too what's the word for it, biscuity smelling for me. This and the spiced apple were the ones that I wanted to test. So this is a relatively linear scent, I'd say. It doesn't really change too much, except for the fact that it just gets, I would say, calmer, you know. When you first start with it, it's definitely very strong, and it's very, very pepperminty, you know. It's like nose tingly on the skin a little bit. It's so delicious, but it's quite strong, and I think if it stayed like that, it would probably be a bit overwhelming to wear it. But this one, it dries down a bit, it kind of calms down. You retain some of that mintiness, but you get the kind of frosting vibe. So notes here are creamy swirls of spearmint buttercream with fresh peppermint leaves and luxurious golden vanilla fondant. And I mean, that's just what it smells like. It smells like that from the beginning to the end. But in the beginning, it's really, really strong. It's very, very nose tingly, pepperminty. Like when you've just bitten in, just crunched into a candy cane. And then I guess, you know, when it's dried down, it's a bit more like a candy cane you've kind of sucked some of the mint out of. I don't know if that makes any sense. But it's been super fun to wear, and I've got my little candy cane kind of socks on today, so I was just basically a human candy cane, and it's been very fun for running around with, you know. So I like that one. It's definitely not one I need a full bottle of. I might wear, you know, obviously I'm going to keep hold of this. Hopefully it'll last, and then I can have another day next year where I smell like a candy cane for Christmas. But it's not something I would wear at any other time of year, you know. It's just a sort of fun one for running around the house. Now tomorrow, I know what I'm going to wear tomorrow because I'm on my way home tomorrow. I'm going to be meeting some friends in the evening in a nice pub. Hopefully we can get a table next to a fireplace. And I was just thinking, what shall I wear? Oh my goodness, obviously, like, it's not going to be a surprise. I'm going to wear Stash because I love it and it's wintry and Christmassy. It's perfect thing to wear next to a fireplace. It's the perfect thing for Christmas. This is I've talked about it again a million times, but it's drinking a lovely honeyed, gingery, slightly boozy maybe drink, but not massively, to be honest, next to a fireplace, nibbling on some pistachios, and smelling the delicious kind of sandalwoody fumes. That's and to be honest, it does have a slightly resinous vibe that makes it smell a bit like a Christmas tree to me. So I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I'm going to put the oil on in the morning. I'm going to take a little decant of the perfume with me home. I'm probably going to just douse myself as well in the hair, and like, I think it's, I mean, you probably can use it as body spray, but I tend to do hair and clothes. And yeah, I'm just hopefully going to smell like delicious Stash all day. I'm hoping it's not the kind of scent that would upset my mum too much, because you can smell it, but it's not beast mode in terms of everyone else having to smell you. And I think it's quite a gentle and comforting aroma. So, yeah, so that's what I will be wearing tomorrow on Friday when I get the train to see my family. And now let's have a little look I tested out so many things this week. I've been at home. It's been super duper fun. So I'm going to start with things that I can actually show you in real life. So let me just put that somewhere. So when I got Sergio Nero, you actually see that, Sergio Nero coffee, I also got chocolate. These are £15 each for a 50ml parfum de toilette. I don't know what that means. I assume it's an eau de toilette. I don't know. Parfum de toilette? I've not heard that expression before. But anyway, so I got the coffee one, and the coffee one smells like a cup of black coffee with a sesame snap on the side. That's what that smells like. You don't really get much else with it. This chocolate, I am rather sad to say, to be honest, I don't think it smells like chocolate at all. Like, not at all. This perfume, I'll give you the notes. Top notes: lemon, freesia, bergamot. Middle notes: caramel, vanilla, orange blossom. Base notes: chocolate and musk. So that's what it says. However, this smells like pink sugar with a coffee note, which is really weird. I'm not the only person to say that in the reviews. A lot of people have said, well, weirdly, someone said this smells like European fancy chocolate. And I honestly could not disagree more. I don't think this smells anything like European chocolate. European fancy chocolate does tend to be slightly creamy. It's really smooth. Even our non-fancy chocolate is pretty creamy and smooth. I did a little review on Fragrantica, and I'll just repeat what I said there, which is, if you are thinking of something like Hershey's, which is literally made with sour milk, then you might be able to say this has a slight hint of chocolate. But I think this smells more like that. Like if you get a milkshake from somewhere and then you kind of taste it and it's the colour of chocolate, but it's just kind of sweet and it doesn't actually taste like chocolate because it's clearly been made with some kind of cheap syrup, the kind of stuff that they put on kiddies' ice creams, and it's just not really recognisable as chocolate to me. That's more of this vibe. However, I just think it smells like a light version of pink sugar, but there's definitely a note in it that smells like coffee. Yeah, so I obviously instantly despise this because I really don't like pink sugar. I don't like anything that smells like pink sugar. I don't like that kind of vanilla. I don't like that kind of caramel. It's just not for me. I find it really incredibly sickly. Far too sweet in a way that I don't enjoy. But what I will say is, if you're watching this and you do like pink sugar, or you like Al Rahab Choco Musk, which I think is far more of a vanilla perfume than it is chocolate, this has that vibe, but with like a hint of coffee. So I think if you like the idea of pink sugar with a bit of coffee, or you like the idea of Choco Musk with a bit of coffee, this might be an excellent perfume for you, because it's like 15 quid. You can get it from Amazon. It lasted forever. It was so hard to get off. It's not like got a huge amount of projection, not the way that pink sugar does. So also, if you like pink sugar but it's too strong for you, this might be a good one. But both this and the coffee actually lasted for a long time, to be honest, on my skin. Again, they weren't like huge at projecting, but they were both long lasting. So yeah, that one's not going to stay with me because I just don't really like it. Then, I put this video up already, but I can fill you in now about the rest of the wear of it, because I also asked my husband if he liked it. So this is Libre La Parfum. I think this is the most recent version of Libre. So Libre La Parfum. Let's just slide this there, shall we? The notes in this are top notes of ginger, saffron, mandarin, orange and bergamot. Middle notes orange blossom and lavender. Base notes bourbon, vanilla, honey, tonka bean and vetiver. I can see that this is beautiful, but I wouldn't want to wear it. It's very sweet. The thing is, it's not like a beast in terms of projection. It's not like so strong you can smell it a mile away. It's not like a huge scent bubble, but I was very aware I was wearing this. It's long lasting. It's quite strong. And it just made me feel a bit sick. I think it's just too sweet. There's something about the combination of these notes that just are a bit, they just made me a bit queasy. It's just not for me. It's too thick and syrupy in a way that I don't entirely enjoy. But at the same time, I can understand why other people do, because it's not like I think this is a horrible perfume. It's just not something I would want to smell like, and I don't want to smell it on me particularly. And actually, my husband really didn't like this. He he just didn't like it. He thought it was too strong. I'm pretty sure he thought it was too mature, and it is quite mature, this one. I think all of the Libres smell quite mature, and as I said in that video, there's something of the Jean Paul Gaultier Classique about Libre to me. They're not exactly the same, but I think there's something about the way that the orange blossom is in these perfumes that is kind of, it's like they're relatives of each other in a way, and that I think nowadays is quite a mature smell. But yeah, so yeah, he did not like this one, and he's normally pretty kind of respectful of everything that I'm trying on, but he didn't like this one. He came in just after I'd done the video, so he had a smell of the Fleur de Femme, and he much preferred that. But this one he wasn't keen on, and I'm not massively keen on it either, but it did make me want to keep the little La Rive dupe of the original Libre, which now I just kind of, now I know what it smells like, I'm like, it's a slightly lavendery, slightly floral, fresh soap smell. That's what I think that dries down to smell like, soap. And I do quite like a soapy perfume, so I was like, that's fine, okay, I'll just deal with that. And then I also tested out this teeny tiny thing. Let me see if I can get this in focus in a way that you can actually see. This is Away Aurora from Avon. They come in these very annoying little things. So you can see I didn't use this whole thing, but it's already dried up, because obviously you just can't, come on. You can't actually reuse these things at all. Okay, there we go. So, oh no, I can smell it on my fingers. Oh dear. Ugh. So top notes: cardamom, pink pepper, Italian lemon. Middle notes: yogurt, water lily, rose. Base notes: bourbon, vanilla, cedar, and vetiver. Oh, this makes me sad. Oh god, it makes me so sad. The dry down of this is disgusting. I'm sorry. I mean, probably not to everyone, but to me, disgusting. And I'm sad, because the reason I tried this one is because I think the opening is really pretty. I think the opening is like a fresh, bright summer version of Far Away, the original. It's got vanilla, but it's got lots of lemon. The florals are quite fresh. And then you've got this yogurt note, which sounds insane, but for some reason it's like a vanilla flavoured yogurt, I would say, with a hint of lemon. So it's sweet enough and light enough that for me worked really nicely. But my god, the dry down disgusted me. I was scrubbing this to get this off me. I hated it. So again, like cardamom and pink pepper and Italian lemon in the top. Middle notes: yogurt, water lily, and rose. Base notes: bourbon, vanilla, cedar, and vetiver. And it's that disgusting cedar that I hate. It's that horrible fake wood smell that just fully smells like tar, like coal tar that they use on roads. I hated it. It was disgusting. It was already going in a kind of horrible way, because the pink pepper in this is way too strong. Like, I mean, I can really smell that on my fingers right now. What I smell on my fingers now from this kind of dried up and dried down, a ton of cardamom, a ton of pink pepper, vanilla, and that disgusting tar-like fake wood. It's just a disaster, and it's a shame, because genuinely, if it had in any way remained what it smelled like in the top, I'd have really enjoyed this one. I'd have thought it was so pretty, but no, just an absolute disaster. I can't be doing with it. So, I mean, I'm definitely not getting a bottle of that. Now then, the other things that I wore this week, I've made a video. It's going to come up soon. I'm not sure if it will be up before or after this one comes out, but I will fill you in. So I got these little oils from it's called Simon's Nest, and it is an Etsy shop. Okay, I've got so many little fiddly things. So Simon's Nest do perfume oils, as you can see, and I got a tester pack of 6 of them, 5 of which I'd ordered, one of which was one I hadn't ordered, and I'm hoping to get the other one at some point. But these are the 3 that I was wearing this week, kind of just randomly, and I think I did Trick or Treat on the day that I wore Colour Feeling Orange, and then I wore Clove Embers. Maybe that was this one, or maybe it was that one. I can't really remember, but either way, oh no, Clove Embers would have been Yog Nog day actually, where I would have worn that like late in the evening, because that would have gone over that because it's so clovey. And Still Beating Heart, I think I wore last night. Sometimes in the morning as well. They dry down so nicely, these little oils. They're so pretty. Now, Clove Embers has notes of top notes: clove, tobacco leaf and baked apple. Heart notes of bonfire, smoke and toasted marshmallows. Base notes of smoked birch and vanilla bourbon. When it starts off, it does have a slight baked goods vibe about it, so a slight biscuity cookie note, which I'm not a fan of at all. But it doesn't last very long. You know what it is? It kind of smells a bit like gingerbread at first. Like, it smells like a gingerbread man very briefly, but then you start getting the apple coming through really nicely, and then you get all the spices. I'm not sure I would have guessed it was bonfire, smoked, toasted marshmallow and vanilla bourbon. I don't know if I'd have guessed particularly it was tobacco leaf. It's just a lovely autumnal smell. Really, really nice. Then Trick or Treat is a bit pumpkiny, little bit. This is another one that has a very slight baked vibe about it. Again, I think that's because it's a baked pumpkin note, but it's kind of tangier and a bit more fruity than this one because it has a jelly bean note. So top notes of fruity jelly beans and freshly carved jack-o'-lanterns. Heart notes of salted caramel, vanilla bourbon and cinnamon spice. Base notes of black pepper, licorice and rich vanilla absolute. Also another one that dries down to be a beautiful, fruity, autumnal, lovely, spicy scent. That I have to say, like, well, with the exception of Still Beating Heart, all the other ones I ordered were kind of autumn, wintry, Halloweeny or Christmassy. So they all have a slightly similar dry down in that they do tend to have a nice sweetness in the base, and there'll be some kind of spiciness and maybe some kind of fruity note. So they're all slightly similar. I can tell the difference if I'm wearing them all at the same time, but they give me quite a similar vibe, generally speaking, but that's just because of what I ordered. Now, Still Beating Heart is the one that kind of stands out as being something different, because this is the one that I think smells a bit like marzipan. Now, the notes in this one are top notes of bergamot and passion flower, heart notes of damask rose, base notes of vanilla absolute and sweet almond macaroon. It's absolutely delicious. This also starts with a biscuit note, and that is because of that macaroon. But hallelujah, it does not last. That smell doesn't continue at all. That biscuity vibe goes away, and it dries down to smelling like a marzipan-y, jammy smell. So what I said in the video, and hopefully you guys will have already seen that, or will see it soon. It smells to me like a pink macaron with a raspberry rose jam. That's kind of the vibe that I get in the dry down. It's not super tangy. It's more almondy than it is jammy. But there's definitely something rose jammy going on there. I mean, I said it's not like rose jam, but I feel like it's got some of the nicer elements of rose jam in this smell, because rose jam for me, I don't like the geranium in it. It goes weird and screechy on my skin. It becomes like screechy and sharp at the same time as being cloyingly sweet. So I can't wear rose jam, sadly. But This, I think, has what I want from rose jam, which is it has a lovely sort of slightly creamy sweetness while having a jammy rose smell, but it's very marzipan-y to me, and I love that about it. I really was wanting a marzipan-y type smell, so this one is really kind of filling that gap for me at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, so that's everything. That's all the stuff I need to talk about. I mean, it's Christmas. I've asked for a lot of samples and miniatures and all kinds of stuff for Christmas. I've also bought myself quite a lot of stuff. So in the new year, I'll just be reviewing all the stuff that I get for Christmas, which is going to be super fun. It's going to take up a huge amount of time, I imagine, but I think it's going to be really fun. And yeah, that's it. So I wish everyone an incredibly happy Christmas. If you're watching this on Christmas Day, I hope your bellies are full and you're just taking a break, because it's you've probably eaten yourself into a stupor, which most of us do. And yeah, very, very, very happy Christmas. And the next time I do one of these, it will be New Year's, so it will be a very, very happy New Year's. So I'll see you guys soon.